Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Happy 4th of July if you're in America and you care about that sort of thing. If you're not in America, it's 4th of July, and that is our Independence Day. So there's lots of bangs and booms going off all day. So it's going to be a quick one because I got stuff to do. But I wanted to tell you a story about this weekend where I earned $5 at the gas pump. And um, I spent money on gas, but I left with $5 extra. And I've often wondered, I'm kind of socially awkward, especially around people that I have no intention or no reason to meet. Meaning, like, in general public, I don't necessarily say hi to everybody and shake hands. If I'm around gamers who know me or who are approaching a booth, I can be super sociable if I need to be, if I'm in that situation. But in normal life, I'm not, and I tend to be avoided. And I've always just assumed it's due to my size. I'm about 6'4". I'm a little lighter than I used to be. I'm only like 215 right now. I used to be almost 250. But I'm a big guy. I take up a lot of space, and I've been told I have a huge voice that carries. So I tend to be kind of avoided. And except in grocery stores. When I go grocery shopping, it's very common for me to get stopped. Hey, sir, can you help me? Yeah, sure. And I always do, I never, even if I'm in a hurry, I'll stop and help. Just because that's kind of who I am as a person. If you're my friend, you'll know that if you ask for my help, I've probably given it to you freely because that's just, I enjoy doing that. But yesterday was a little bit different. I'm at the gas pump, and I'm very anti-confrontational. I just don't. I'd rather not confront anybody about anything or be confronted. I just go about my business. So I'm standing at the gas pump, back turned. Car pulls in. I don't pay any attention. And I hear from behind me, "Sir." I just pause. And I hear it again, "Sir." Like loudly. And so I'm expecting the tone that this person is hailing what turns out to be me was very confrontational. It was very much like, when I thought, did I do something wrong? Am I parked wrong? Is there a dead animal hanging out of my car? Did I pass this person wrongly or something? Like, what did I do? And finally I turn around, and there's a little lady, older lady, probably 60s, early 70s, I don't know, white-haired older lady, sitting in a car that looks super fresh and clean. It's not a brand new car, but maybe it is to her, right? I think maybe she just bought a used car because it's got the white floor mats and stuff. And she goes, "Sir, when you get a few minutes, can you help me with something in here, if you have a moment?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's got the door open, little lady. I'm like, "Sure." So I set the little, we've got, in West Virginia, you can set the gas pump and it'll keep pumping. So I set that and I walk over to her. And she goes, she says something like, "My radio is stuck on AM and I don't know how to get it off." And I was like, okay. And so she turns the car back on. She's like, "Wait, and the date says it's October 2012. I'm like, "Yeah." And so I walk her through fixing the radio, hit the mode button, hit whatever. So we do all that. I walk her through setting so I get the radio fixed. It was set on AM, and I, got to FM, whatever. And then she goes, "Well, how do I fix the date?" And so I walk her through all that. And this whole time, she's just like, she's like, "How do you know how to do all of this?" And I was like, "Well, ma'am, I was a mechanic for quite a long time." And so she shakes my hand and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you're in the right place at the right time," or whatever. And she gives me $5. She's like, "Here, hold on a second." And she gets her wallet. I'm like, "You don't have to do this." She's like, "No, go get yourself something to drink." She gives me a $5 bill. Super nice lady, but very aggressive in the way that she asked me for help. And I left just thinking, like, well, that's a new one, right? Like, that was a very different encounter, right? And I come back and I tell M, who also is a little person. This lady was probably taller than M, but she was still a small older lady, and M was like that. She's like that. I would never ask a large man for assistance. Like that's just she's just terrified of something happening, and this lady was just obviously like whatever. Like I think maybe with age comes a little bit of the whateverness, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I pulled into that gas pump with the expectation that I was going to pump gas, and I did. But I also ended up helping a person who needed help and didn't understand technology in front of them, and I think that's an important. It's important to be presentable to people who need your help, right? Like who maybe aren't necessarily looking for help, but are in need. I think sometimes we forget that their story is very different from our own, and that projecting onto them our own thoughts and feelings about their situation is not necessarily the right thing to do. And sometimes it's best to just be there, even if they're a stranger. Yeah. So, 4th of July, gonna go celebrate. Hope you have a great day. If you're in America, I hope you have responsible celebrations. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is minutia. It is a noun meaning small, trifling matters that one encounters on an average day. The minutia of golf, tennis, and spa treatments at the club can become utterly tiresome. Minutia. M-I-N-U-T-I-A-E. Have I not also heard that pronounced minutiae? Like, do people say it is minutiae an acceptable pronunciation of minutia?